Hello, 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 hello. Give me 1 second here, everyone. Let me just get this removed here. All right, here we are. I think I'm getting some reverb. So we're going to switch cameras, I think. Stand by. All right, can you all hear me? All right. Am I getting any reverb still? Hey everyone. Hey everyone. If I'm getting reverb, I'll just keep talking. Please throw it in the chat. Welcome. I am going solo this evening. Our very good friend, dear friend Walter, was not feeling well here last minute, and hopefully he is heavily medicating himself and taking a well-deserved rest and getting rid of what he has. So we have, again, I have a different environment for you all. I have this beautiful hotel lighting. Can hear you, but there's still some reverb. Let me just see if I can mute my phone here. Hang on 1 second. Just to see if I can get rid of the phone. Let's just get rid of this completely. All right. Hopefully that's going to help just a little bit. Hang on. We're just going to get rid of one of these here. This is the joys of trying to do new technology in a hotel room. There we go. All right. Hopefully the reverb isn't too bad. I'm not sure what else to do to fix it, but we've got our down cam. I've got a face cam for you all, which I'll turn here to down cam. Yes, Melissa, he is suffering some allergies, some sinus and all kinds of stuff. But thank you guys. Sandy, hello. Melissa, hello. I said hello to Brenda, Shalana. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Glad to have you here this evening. I'm on the road again. Hotel behind me, hotel desk here, but we're going to make it work. Hopefully I don't have to do this, but this one time, and then I'll be in my new place, and I'm in the lovely city of Savannah, Georgia, doing some flight training for my new job. It is done on Friday. Don't look at my hair. Today was pool day. And so I haven't showered since being in the pool for the good portion of the afternoon doing plane evacuations and firefighting. So this is what we're getting for the evening. So hopefully I don't turn people off and you start checking out. It looks like we had some spam in there. I tried to hide them, get rid of them. I'm not sure if Penny's on it. I don't see her on yet, but if so, she'll watch for that as well. But you guys, we have a great card for you this evening. I'm so sad that Walter was not feeling well because he had a really cool card. So if you go to the website, brutusmonroe.com, look up Men of Monroe for today, and you're going to see my card on the banner, and you're going to see his card on the banner. His was so adorable. He actually had some interaction. I have a tiny bit of interaction, but not like he does. So, yes, I'm on the road again, but hopefully, Melissa, this should be the last on the road, and I should be back in studio. I'm moving here in 2 weeks to Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'll have a new studio there, and I'll be able to have a studio back in Atlanta when I'm back home. So, I know, well, a shirt, a t-shirt, a little stretched out hotel t-shirt, pool hair, no bow tie, no hat. So this is what you're getting. Anyway, hey, we've got a great package. As of, I think this morning, we had 2 or 3 of these left. So if you've not gotten this package, it is worth the money. Here's the deal. No discount on our package tonight. It's $59.94. Part of the reason is it's part of the Pooh series. The Pooh series is kind of blowing off the shelves, which we're so excited about. Our design team have been putting out the best cards with this release. So, however, if you are a subscription member, you will save 15% on this bundle while supplies last. I'm not sure how many were left. I forgot to look before I started this evening, trying to get everything in here set up. So we will go back to discounts, but when we've got such popular stuff like this, we try to bundle great products, but you'll get that discount as subscription member. My collab link is in the affiliate link is in the description. So feel free to use that to buy the bundle. Feel free to use that to purchase the subscription package as well. Just know that it is affiliate link. I get a little kickback on it. Walter hasn't set his up yet, I don't think. And all these products were used tonight, were given to us for free as part of the design team. So Last thing I want to mention, Walter and I have been discussing here in the background, and if you go to the description tonight on the Brutus Monroe YouTube page, I have not added it to my page and stuff yet on YouTube for the description, but go to the Brutus Monroe description. You'll see our standard description in there. Scroll all the way to the bottom. We have added, and I know there's many of you in the chat here this evening, so we've added our entire design team, links to their YouTube, links to their Instagrams for right now, not to the Facebooks, because if you're not following any of these people, Walter and I are just two of like 20 people, 19 people on this design team. And this design team is putting out some amazing, phenomenal stuff. If you're not following them, go down to that description all the way to the bottom and start hitting on them and hit the like, subscribe, and follow button for them because they're putting out some great stuff. And so I wanted to call them out because you've got to follow them. We're giving you a little slice of the pie. There's so much of these stamps of Winnie the Pooh that's out there right now. The new releases, when we get them and we put them on a design team, there's some awesome stuff. So, hey, Pam. Welcome, Pam. So we just wanted to put that on our description. We'll keep it on there week to week because if you're not following them, you've got to go follow them. Last thing we're super excited about is we have created a new hashtag that we would love if you're crafting along with us on Wednesday nights. If you're not crafting along with us on Wednesday nights, but you get inspiration from what we do and you go back and try what we tried, or you try to replicate our card, or you just like the stamp set and you bought it and you're like, because of what we did and you got ideas from us, please tag us at hashtag Men of Monroe Wednesdays. It's in the description as well. We would love it if you hashtag us, and we would love to see what you guys create from any inspiration that we put out there because we're getting some great feedback. People are loving the cards, loving my style versus Walter's style and vice versa because we put out some different stuff. So we thought it would be fun if you're crafting along or craft afterwards to see what you're doing from what we put out there. That would be just so awesome. So hashtag Men of Monroe Wednesdays. Oh, great. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. I had to turn one thing down to get the other one to work, and I'm kind of hearing a tiny bit out of my phone. So Chris Harvey, you can't hear me if I talk a little louder. Is that going to work for you? I will talk a little louder, see if you can. If not, it might be your volume. Try to turn up your volume because people are saying that you can hear me. So I'm going to keep dual cam on just for a little bit, and then I might switch so that we can get a little bit broader view for what we're doing down here. I've got to rotate stuff here below because my camera's set up kind of sideways. So let's go look at what we're going with tonight. All right. So first thing we have is the Winnie and Friends stamp set. If you don't have anything Winnie the Pooh in your stash, if you don't have anything for kids in your stash, this is the set. These are great little stamps and pictures. You've got Pooh and Piglet leaning on a pot of honey. We've got Eeyore, Piglet, and Pooh just laying out in the grass, having a good old time. You've got a happy birthday sentiment. We've got a celebrate sentiment. We've got a welcome little one sentiment. If nobody knows, Christopher brought this set on for his newest little nephew, who is absolutely adorable, who was born. And that's where this little Winnie the Pooh kind of stuff came from. So you've got a great set here. Then we're going to use some of the Honey Acres paper pad. All right. And I know many of us say this. I'm sorry, Chris. No, but thank you. That's all I know. So this paper pad is so nice. I know we say this about all the paper pads, but there are some good papers in here. And I don't know if Penny is in. Penny, if you could just kind of watch chat for me, if you are in, that would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, Chris, if you're not happy with what's on here, you can feel free to kind of move on to the next channel. So appreciate it. Anyway, there are some great papers in here. And I have picked out paper from this one to use on my pot. So I put him in the little corner. Then we've got all kinds of double-sided stuff in here. that is great for all, lots of honeycomb stuff, lots and lots of honeycomb stuff in here. So good options on kitty cards, all right? Then we've added to this the whipped honey. If you haven't tried the whipped honey, you've got to get yourself some. This is so thick and creamy, really nice to lay through stencil, which we're going to do for you tonight. And there are 3 different colors, but look at how thick that is. Like, it doesn't even move. It's just like heavy whipped cream, right? Then we've added Raven embossing powder because this is just a great consumable to have. And we try to throw something in there that's something great to have kind of in your stash that you can always use as a consumable. And then the yellow aqua pigment. And I'm adding some more aqua pigments on mine tonight, but we've used yellow because obviously we've got Pooh, and Pooh we've got to give a little blast of yellow, all right? So let's get started. Let me see if I can just switch my cam here to 1 and expand it here for you. Can you hear me now? I will wait. Give me a thumbs up or yes if you can hear me now. It's because I switched off a camera. And hopefully this isn't reverbing on you. I will let the delay catch up and see if you guys can hear me. Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me? Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're back, and hopefully it's not reverbing. I'll resave my card really quick. Honey Pot Stencil, all right? Then I've done my stenciling with the honey, whipped honey. I've added my embossed sentiment. This is glued together, okay? The host is muting and unmuting my mic. Hopefully you can still hear me. I see Penny has joined us. Thank you, Penny. Penny, we've had a little bit of spam in our chat. So if you could kind of watch spam, that would be appreciated. I know we've had a couple not so happy people. And then you open this up, and there you have our Pooh inside. Okay? All right. I took a 4-inch by 8.5-inch piece of paper. I fold it in half, all right? And then I'm going to take my Honey Pot stencil. Essentially, I want to create a square card that I'm going to fussy cut this out. So when I line this up, I'm lining up the top of my pot to the top of this fold, right? And now just so I know where to cut, I tried tracing this with a pencil, and because this is so fine in the middle, it was just too hard to trace. So here is my idea for tracing. I use yellow because it'll blend with my stuff that I'm doing. Use any color you want because it doesn't matter. We're going to cover this up. So you can just blend with whatever one you want. I'm just using some orangey yellow. And I did not bring tape in the hotel room or pixie spray, so we're going to try to hold this down. I'm just going to go very light. All I need to see is the trace of my stamp. That's it. Okay? Don't worry about blending it beautifully because you're going to be fussy cutting this out and covering it up with paper. You're just looking for your cut lines. Okay? All right. And that's it. Now you can kind of see where that pot is that we're going to fussy cut out. Okay. Now, just fussy cut this whole piece out off of your fold. Let me try the other mic. Penny, will you open up and close up one mic for me? And see. Okay, let's just try this. Now can you hear me? All right. We'll keep my face on and we'll keep the tabletop on. So if I'm looking down, you're going to be looking at my pool hair. So there you go. All right. So now we're just going to fussy cut this out. I'm just going along where I traced the outside of this pot. The idea here is I want this to be a pot-shaped card, almost like a square card, but it's going to be glued together because I'm going to pop that open for that little door. All right. And if you have to tape a little piece on the inside, because sometimes as you cut this, it twists and it doesn't line up exactly, and then you got to retrim, but that's okay. That's what I had to do on my sample card anyway. And then just follow along your little trace line. Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad the mic is back. These are just the joys of trying to do a portable hotel studio. Maybe I should invent like YouTube studios on the go and like the equipment that goes with it or something. All right. And hopefully this is my last time in a hotel room, and I'll be in my new space here in a couple weeks. So, all right, now I've traced this out. I've cut that out. Don't worry about your little line here because we're gonna do pieces for that. All right. That's it. Now I would cut. So what I did for my sample card is I used a little rectangle die and I laid it on this card, traced it, and then I just cut out two sides of my door and folded that over. And I did crease that a little bit, okay? So when we do this, I'm gonna switch to my prepared piece, right? So you saw me prepare, and now I traced out with a die my little door, and then I cut that open, okay? Now I'm going to take my stamp that I want, and we're going to stamp the inside of this. But what I want to do is I got to have a pen sitting here, so I'm just going to mark this just really lightly. I'm just going to mark my corners of my door so I know when I lay my stamp out what's going to be popping through that door, okay? Take my stamping tool. This is going to be sideways until I can stamp it because it won't fit otherwise on the desk, all right? So then I lay this down, hold that there, and grab my stamp set. And I used Pooh and Piglet with the Honey Pot for my sample one. And we're going to do the same one because that's what I brought colors to color with for tonight, okay? Now when I lay this out, I've got my four little corners here. I'm going to lay this out so that I get Pooh and Piglet showing through the door. I'm going to bring that to the bottom edge so I have it almost like it's coming off the bottom edge. And now I have space around here where that door is going to show. Don't worry about that. We're going to just make that blue like the sky, okay? Oh, thank you, Melissa. Yeah, it's kind of, you know what? We make it work, don't we? All right. And now this is where I'm going to use my Raven ink to stamp this, and we're going to do some watercolor. It's going to be a little shaky. I apologize. Hopefully I'm not going to make anybody dizzy. I'm on the hotel mocked up desk. All right. Just give that another good little stamp. Get some good color on that. Like so. And I'm not sure if anybody watched the new release, that Christopher did this week, but oh my gosh. But here's the thing I like about that release he just did. It still blends with this Pooh stuff. And I know they've restocked Pooh. I think we are now on the 5th restock. Well, hello, Isis. Welcome, welcome. Well, Mr. Walter is sick this evening, so you've got me. But he had such a great card. So go to the website, check out his card in the banner on that front. All right. I've stamped him out. And that's my door. Bada bing, bada boom. He's right there. All right. Now, this is just simple watercoloring. There is no technique. This is not on watercolor paper because I just want a solid color. And that's it. Okay. So I'm going to take my watercolors. I'm using just a watercolor brush. I know we've all seen these. It's the little brush tube with the water and it comes out here. I'm not overcomplicating this. I'm just making this as easy as possible. I'm going to do yellow for Pooh. I'm going to do very watered down some red for Mr. His little buddy Piglet. Blue for the sky. And then we're going to do a little yellow-green for the grass. And I'm going to use the other colors here for those flowers. Okay? Don't overthink this. And make this as easy as possible. So, get my yellow. And I'm not even going to worry about re-wetting this because it's not on watercolor paper because I just want to color. I'm not shading. I might add a tiny bit of extra shading on Pooh. But this is just like basic coloring. Easy, easy, easy. I feel like I haven't seen you all for a while. I mean, I missed a week, and Walter was solo when I was out. I was actually up in Minneapolis looking for a new place to live when I move. So how has everyone been? I've kind of, I feel like I went into a little withdrawal, not doing a live for you guys. I was kind of missing it. And I was kind of in the background a little bit very shortly because I was out touring apartments listening to Walter, and I just didn't pipe in because I was like, I was busy and I didn't want to get trapped into chatting. All right. That is our Mr. Pooh. And I'm not going to shade him. I did shade him a little orange on this card. But I'm not going to do that on this one because my paper, I'm using just a slightly different poundage of paper, and I don't want it to get too splotchy. So we're going to keep him just nice and bright here tonight. All right. Now I'm going to do very watered down. So I'm putting some water down, and I'm pulling a tiny bit of red in there just to really dilute that down. For my little buddy Piglet here. I loved Piglet as a kid. There was something about his character, or the character of Piglet. And I don't know if it was just because he was such a good buddy to Pooh or what it was, but I just adored Piglet. Eeyore too, because Eeyore was kind of like that poor little lost soul. I kind of felt like I could relate to him, but I really gravitated towards Piglet. Thank you guys. Yeah, we try to at least keep this consistent for you guys, and we knew that there was, going into this, that there would be times that one of us couldn't do it and the other one would do it by themselves. We knew that. And sometimes when we have time, we've discussed it, when we've got the gift of time, we will probably see if we can't rope in another team member to come in and be a guest with us, because I think that would be just awesome to have, you guys, the other team members on to come play with us. I think that would be so awesome. All right, I'm going to throw a little orange down for some flowers. And if I go over the lines, because the way the stamp was done, I don't care. That's just the way it is. it's that kind of a loose stamp to me when I'm doing something like a watercolor like this. That, and it's storybook, right? So I'm not too concerned about that. I'll throw a little yellow in there. A Tigger jacket for rear. Oh, you know what, Tigger? Yeah, actually, Tigger. No, but Piglet was my favorite. I liked the character of Tigger though, because he just was like he was just himself. Like he didn't care about what anybody thought. You know what I mean? So I think, yeah, I would have to agree with you on that, Pam. Definitely, Tigger was the top in there too. He was like the guy, you know. All right, I'm gonna pull in just a little yellow green. I always do yellow green with my greenery a lot, just because I just like it. So we're just gonna do a little yellow green, not too dark. I'm gonna just throw that down through the bottom here, just for my grass. Pretty loose, you know, nothing crazy. Just throw it around. Melissa, I got your number. For sure. We'd love to, you know, at any given time, pull any of you guys in. Would be so fun. We need the gift of time, though, to give you guys time to prepare to do that. All right. There's my green. Now, because I had all this space that's going to be through my window, I'm just going to give this I'm going to give this a little wetness, right? And I'm just going to take my blue, and we're just going to throw blue for my sky all through the rest of this doorway. And I'm just making this just real loose, like storybook-like, nothing precise. My butterfly, I wish that butterfly would be in my doorway, but he's not going to make it in the doorway. Oh my gosh, of your former father-in-law? Why? Because of the way he talked, or because of the way he acted? Because that could be like, you could interpret that a lot of different ways, like, or both, because you know how that can go, right? All right, I'm gonna pull my orange with a little bit of blue to get kind of that brownish color. I only brought so many colors with me, and we're gonna color this pot. I took a little dab of that one, little dab of that one, and got this color. And then I'm gonna do the orange on the opening for the honey. Did not bring it. We didn't throw it in the package, but if you have got the faux honey, you could throw that faux honey on this, dripping out of the pot, would be really cool. Oh, don't let it scare you, Sandy. Just take away the inhibition and throw it on there. All right, we're going to give Piglet a bright red shirt this evening. Because Pooh normally has his shirt on, but he doesn't have a shirt on tonight, so we're not going to use red for him. Right, Isis? Like, that's what I asked. Like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because was he a little loopy acting, or was this just because he was a good guy? And you don't have to answer that if it was father-in-law on video. You guys, that's it. That's my coloring. I mean, it just, like, seriously, it's no shading, no nothing. Just make him nice and bright, popping through that window. All right? Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to take, I'm going to first off put this aside to dry. Then, oh, look at Penny getting all fancy, throwing my picture there in the corner. Now, I'm going to go back to my papers. And I picked out this one because he was in the corner. And then I picked out this one for the lid. Go back to your stencil now, okay? Because you're going to need to know where to cut this. You're going to go back to your stencil. And to make this easy, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but I'm taking the corner of my stencil here and just throwing it right in the corner of my paper, because then it's just easy to line up, okay? So I'm still getting a little chunk of Pooh in there, and then the rest of this. I'm going to do the same exact thing to trace this out, okay? Just get enough color on here all around the edges so you know where to cut. And then this is your natural shading. So be a little careful on your blending because this is you're gonna see this one. But I'm gonna throw a little distress over this just to, you know, I can't not throw some distress on here. All right. Now because I did yellow over Pooh, I just took a little pencil or pen, just lightly traced where I'm gonna cut him. Because you can't really see that yellow. You can, but barely. Oh, sorry about that, Melissa, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I get it. Oh no, naked Pooh. Yeah, I didn't know. He didn't have a shirt on. Some of these don't have shirts. He always had that red. Was it red shirt? I think, wasn't it? As he was walking with Piglet, I think he always had that red shirt on. I'm gonna hide my camera so I can see the chat here. I just want to see chat. There we go. All right. Same thing. You're gonna cut around all of what you just traced with your ink. Okay. Cut the whole pot out, even though we're going to cover the top portion with something else. Just so I'm not puzzling and having to match up, I'm just cutting out the whole thing, and then I just have to lay out one piece over the top and make it line up versus two pieces to line up. I don't know if that makes sense until you see it, but that was my thought process on that. All right. Okay, now you can see you've got your shading already built on there. You would cut your door. So this is what we're aiming for, right? I would cut my door here from that little die piece. I already marked it because I'd already pre-cut one. Just FYI, I kind of did this a little bit before. I did not know that, Melissa. So the red shirt Pooh is still owned. Oh, red shirt Pooh is still owned by Disney, but we can do little bearable Pooh. Naked Pooh, as Brenda said. All right, put this one aside after you cut it. Then you're gonna get this. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this one aside, and now we're up to here. Now I'm gonna take my piece that had the wood grain on it, and I'm gonna do the same thing, except now I'm gonna switch colors because I just want brown on this one. And then I'm going to take my stencil again. Okay. And I'm just going to do the lid. So I'm just going to do this portion. All right. Now I bumped this up as tight as I can get it so I don't have a lot of waste. That's just how I am. But if you want to line this up in the corners to make it easy, go right ahead. All right, now I'm just taking a little bit of my a darker distress color here, my walnut stain, and I am just going around the edges of this whole top piece. And tracing this out just like I did that bottom with the yellow. Yeah. Got a little movement there. That's all right. Okay. That's my top piece. I mean, I'm not even like worrying about getting even blend because I like that darkness and lightness in spots anyway. So I just did it quick, just enough to see, and what I get is what I get on this and making it easy. You know what, Pam? I heard that Steamboat, I think Steamboat, there's something with Steamboat Mickey is coming out and they still own, I think it's the glove or something to that effect. So I think you're right. I can't remember who told me that, but it was in the same conversation I was having when this Pooh set came out, and I was like, I didn't know we could do a Pooh, and I didn't know that that was released for people to use, and so I think you're right, and I think it's Steamboat Mickey or something to that effect. So now I'm just cutting that lid out. And then we're just going to piece it together. Just these two pieces so that I'm not piecing two cutout pieces essentially together. All right, so now I'm just going to take that and lay that over that. But before I do that, I just want to throw a little tiny bit of brown around the edge of my pot. Just a little bit. So I have kind of that yellow brown going on. Just to distress him, just a little bit. I think this would be a great card. I think this would be, just the way I'm doing it and assembling it, this would be a great tag. Cut a little hole up in the top, make a little tag out of it. And any sentiment. Yeah, Steamboat Willie. That's what I thought. Yep. Well, hello, Kelly. I didn't see Kelly sneaking in there. Welcome. All right. Glue this piece down to this piece. And I'll be honest, I tried doing a pencil, tracing this and cutting it like 2-3 times, and the stencil's a little, you got that little fine piece in there, and I didn't have any pixie spray, and I just thought, okay, I wonder if I can just ink blend this and get the same thing. Okay, if it doesn't line up perfectly, I just go back through and just trim that down just a little bit because I didn't cut them together, so I just trim it. And you're not going to know any different. Just like so. Okay. Now you will take your base. And I'm going to dilute. So this is, let me just dry that just a tiny bit. I just have my heat gun. So I'm going to just dry this a little bit. I'll talk a little louder. Yeah, that's why, like, copyrights and stuff. I mean, I have ideas for stamps and stencils, but I know they've got to be original. I know you can't be using other things and stuff. That's where, I mean, as a designer, I can't imagine doing some of this stuff. Or wanting to create your own. You know what I mean? Well, hello, Ellen. Welcome, Miss Ellen. Ellen, dear, I know we said this last time. You've been putting out some just amazing cards, my dear, on the Brutus Monroe fan page. So I just got to call that out. You've been putting out some just really cute stuff. All right. Now you're going to glue this together, but do not glue that door down. So I'm going to trace around the door first because I know as I get talking, I would be the one to go around and glue that door down. And so I'm just going to go around my edges like so. All right. Fold this down. Just like that. Well, Miss Crafty Visage, welcome. Got it right back at you, dear. All right. Look at that. Is that? I mean, come on. That's so cute. Okay. Now, I'm going to line this up over the top. Now, I'm just going to cheat on you and tell you, I lined this up and I had this base pre-cut, traced it, and I cut these together. That's how they lined up so good. And I only did this because I'm in a hotel room and I had to do some pre-work. But when I did this piece, let me show you. We started with a piece like this. I folded it in half. I ink blended that, right? I ink blended this piece, and then I laid these over, traced where that door was going to go on both, and cut them together so that it lined up, all right? Just so you are wondering, like, how the heck did he get those two pieces to line up so good? All right. I'm going to glue this down now to my base. Do not glue your door down. Did you see me look? I'm like, I looked up Pooh right here thinking, oh dear. But I used that on my sample one. Right here. I was just thinking I just glued that wrong side down. If you could just feel my chest, like the panic was like, oh my gosh. I just glued the wrong side. Okay. Glue this one down. These ones should line up pretty decent because I did pre-work on this one. I do have a little trimming, I think, to do, but okay. We're almost there, but we're not there. We got a couple more things to do. So again, your bundle is $59.94. If you do not have any Pooh stuff, I'm telling you, this is a good one to have. No discount on it because it's Pooh and we're selling it like crazy. But if you are a subscriber or sign up to be a subscriber, you will get 15% off of this bundle tonight. I do have that link for you and my affiliate link as well down below. All right, look at that. Good. I guess I got to do those two pieces together on this one. I was just too worried of not gluing the main door down. Okay. All right, now I'm going to emboss my sentiment because I don't have the gift of time and I did not prep one with my whipped honey. Let's emboss our sentiment first. Hopefully I don't get a ton of fingerprints on here because I don't have powder with me. But you know what? If we do, we do. All right. Anybody in the chat have Pooh yet? Or anything Pooh yet from all this new release? If so, are you just loving it? Now, what sentiment did I use on this? Because it fit perfectly. Thank you for sharing our special day. Fit perfectly in that little top of my pot. Happy birthday kind of fits too, but it feels weird because it's just that little piece on top. This one fills that whole top. So we're going to go with that. All right. Let's see here if I can line this up. My pot's a little crooked in here, but Penny, if you're still there, do we have 3 left for thank you so much. She's like totally ahead of me. 3 left for tonight's bundle. Yeah. I was just going to have her go look for me. All right. Let me just get this one off of here. And now I'm just going to use the Raven embossing powder that is in the bundle. Again, a good standard consumable to have in your stash. And the embossing ink. I don't have the last pieces and are happy they're all together. I don't have the paste either or other mixed media stuff, just the faux honey. Oh, Pam, you've got to get... Okay, so Pam, I don't know if you were on at the beginning. This is the whipped honey that we're going to use tonight. There's 3 different colors. Tonight we're using Tupelo that's in the bundle. This is a super thick, and you'll see me when I apply this through the stencils. I said this on the last... well, no, I put this in our group chat, but the glitter glazes, oh my gosh. Pam, you got to start with a glitter glaze. Then you've got to get yourself a chroma paste or this whipped honey. Okay, you're gonna be hooked. I am hooked on the glitter glazes right now. I am just hooked, and I have never been a huge glitter person, but partially because loose glitter makes such a mess. But this fallen snow right now, oh my gosh! The Sunset Motel that was in the last release, oh my gosh! All right. If I get fingerprints, no judging, because I'm not in that, fully stocked craft room. I may end up having to redo the lid when I get home in a better sentiment, but it works. All right. I'm just impressed. I actually brought my heat tool. I even brought my little folded paper for my embossing powder. Look at this. Okay. And let's just get out that Raven. Where did I throw my Raven? All right. Ellen, the whipped honey dries matte. You're going to have some of them that will, the velveteen, Penny, correct me if I'm wrong, Velveteen glazes, which are going away and going to be rebranded into chroma mattes. Those will dry matte. Your chroma glazes are going to be shiny. But the whipped honeys are a little bit more on the matte side. And I can show you, like here, I'll show you this one. That's the whipped honey that I'm using tonight. And you can see it's really super matte. A little bit of prints in there, but not so bad. All right, I'm gonna turn this on if I lose you because I've got some noise going. Also, if you have not gotten any of Brutus Monroe's embossing powders, I'm telling you, the best ones I've ever used. They melt so nice. The powder is so fine on these that they just blend and melt so nice. Actually, you know what? There's some little splotches on there, but I actually don't mind it. It gives it a little grit. You can see like a piece like right there, some right there, but it gives it a little grit. I'm actually okay with that. Okay, so last thing to do is the fun, messy part, all right? Get out your stencil again. You're going to use these 3 pieces in the corner. Now, I took out the negative pieces, already put them away so I wouldn't lose them. And you're going to just randomly, now when I first did this, I think I tucked it around the words. I took a little piece of sticky note and covered up this little corner of the rest of the pot so I wouldn't get it on the rest of the card. Oh yeah, this is a total new thing for your toolbox, Ellen. And they're just, I mean, it is seriously just like a whipped butter, whipped honey. I mean, it's literally whipped honey. All right, take a little bit down from that. So now I tucked some around the words, and I started where I don't have to overlap. So I'm going to start in this corner and work my way across my card so I don't have to overlap and wait for one section to dry and do another little piece. That's how I did this. Just so that I could just get it all done in one swoop. I'm not worrying about a thin layer because this is supposed to be goopy honey, in my opinion. So I'm laying it on kind of goopy, to be honest. Okay, we move on to the next little section. Let me clean that off just a little bit. I'm going to do 2 right there. I'm kind of tapping this in so I get it a little textured and keep it off of the rest of the card, but I want this goopy look, and it's supposed to be honey. It's supposed to be sticky honey. Okay, we'll do a piece right there. But the key is after this, if Shawn can keep his fingers out of it as I show you the finished card. Oh yeah, velveteen glazes. I got myself a ton of them on the birthday special. They are being rebranded, just so you know. If you buy them, they're rebranded. You might get one and it's going to go away. But they're being rebranded into a slightly different product, but they're still amazing. I bought a ton of colors on the last order of mine. So stock up if you need them. If you're looking for other tools for mixed media stuff, get the glazes, get the velveteen glaze, this whipped honey. Okay, I'm going to leave it as is. Let me just scrape some of this off. Yeah, the velveteens I like because they dry a little more matte. So, Jana, welcome. I'm solo this evening. Mr. Walter is sick and hopefully medicated and sleeping already. Oh, you know what? I want to do one little one. I think on the door. I'm gonna go back. I want to get one more. Hey, Candy. I probably shouldn't put this on here because I'm gonna have to open this door, but we're we're gonna go for it. Tap that in and just keep it nice and goopy. And that is it. All right, you guys, that is my card. I made some good time by myself this evening, didn't I? All right, here's your card. See if I can do this without messing this up. All right, this is supposed to be like a square card that I made into a shaped card, but remember, let me grab the finished one here so I don't goof this up. It's glued together, okay? I only glued it together instead of doing one single piece because I wanted this interactive piece to open the door and have Pooh and his friends hanging out inside his honey pot. All right. You could make this a card. You could still write on the back. You could actually throw, because, and I do this with mixed media, I get the back dirty. Guess what? I'm just going to go and trace out another one out of my paper and throw this on the back. I'm going to make these into tags. I'm just going to hole punch a little, probably in the corner or right here's a little spot, hole punch this and put some twine on it. I forgot before I left, but this would look really cute to throw twine around the lid, some burlap twine to make it look like a honey pot that's been tied with some, fabric or something on the top. So I'm going to add twine. I'm going to cut a hole. I'm going to add some paper on the back, and I've got myself a great, cute little tag. This would look great on a burlap bag, not a burlap bag, sorry, a craft bag, and then take your stencil and maybe just stencil, ink blend this on the front of the bag and make this as your tag. I think would look super adorable. Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you. The faux honey though, not the whipped. The faux honey is shiny and it looks like hardened. And that would look super cute dripping out of this pot. That faux honey comes in a little bear, like the bear honey, right? So Ellen, get yourself some honey. If you're getting stocking up some stuff, get yourself some honey, faux honey. But that is my card. Please go to the website and check out Walter's card on the banner of the Men of Monroe Wednesdays banner. You'll see his card. You can't tell on the picture, but he's got a Pooh thing coming up. It's actually pushed down inside. If you pull on the B, which he used this stamp right here, and then made it blue around like this guy, cut wider around it. This is his piece that he pulls out of the pot, and then you've got Pooh and friends sitting at the bottom of his. So super adorable. We'll post his on the social media. He'll post it on probably in the fan club and stuff, so you guys can see it. But that is my card for tonight. Let me see if I can switch to full. Oh, there we go. Oh, I did it. Again, pool hair. Look at that crazy pool hair. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me tonight. Appreciate you all. If you missed my little recap at the beginning, we have now put at the bottom of the description on our Wednesday Lives, all of our team members, our inspiration team. Go check them out. Like, subscribe, and follow because they are putting out a ton of inspiration. We've got some amazing scrapbookers on our team. We've got some amazing card makers on our team. We've got some amazing mixed media. Lisa Newman, amazing colorist. What she does with colored pencils and alcohol markers still blows me away. So please go check them out. We've got 3 bundles left for tonight, $59.94. No discount if you're a subscription member, though, 15% off. But there's this Pooh stuff is, I think he ordered it for the 5th time, might be the last because we're getting ready to hit out another release. So I think when Pooh is gone, it's gone. And you got to have some of this Pooh stuff. It's really cute for kids, and he did this for his nephew. So, and then if you do any of the stuff we do on our lives, hashtag Men of Monroe Wednesdays, because we want to see anything that you guys do that is inspiring you from what we do, or what you see in our lives, or the product we use maybe, like, hey, I like the product you use, I tried this and this is what I made. Hashtag us at Men of Monroe Wednesdays because we'd love to see what you do. So you guys, thanks for hanging with me. I promise, I think this might be my last night to do a hotel live, and I should be back in my new studio in Minneapolis here in a couple of weeks. I'll do from Atlanta next week, and then I'm on the road to my new studio. So thank you, everyone, and